Welcome to the Personal Trainers Who Care podcast. My name is Catherine Marion, and I am a manager and trainer at the Freeform Fitness Wellington location. And I will also be your host as we get to know another member of our fabulous team. Here, we share the stories of our personal trainers because at the heart of every fitness business is a passionate individual who cares about changing lives and helping others reach their full health potential. This podcast is a production of Freeform Fitness, a boutique-style personal training studio with 6 locations across Ottawa, Canada. Here we hire the very best personal trainers. They are ambitious, hardworking team players who know how to get their clients results. Our trainers provide expert personal training services in studio and also online, and every program is tailored to the individual needs of the client. Today, for our lucky 13th episode, we're going to talk to Bertwin. He is a personal trainer at our Kanata location. Bertwin is a man of many talents and an upcoming track athlete. We're going to talk about all of that in the next few minutes. Welcome to today's edition of the Personal Trainers Who Care podcast. Welcome to the show, Bertwin.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're glad that you're here. And listen, you're kind of the newest member over at the Kanata location, right?
I think so. I think we just had one more new trainer, but yeah, I'm pretty much the newest one.
Yeah, congratulations. Welcome to the team.
Thank you.
So listen, tell us, what made you want to become a personal trainer?
Yeah, well, I was in a rehab clinic before this, and I saw, the progress being made from working with clients there, and seeing their progress made me feel good about myself, being able to make a positive change in their lives. So I figured, I like sports. I like helping people, change their life for the better. So why not try PT?
Okay, so that means that you went through some courses, some certifications to get to where you are?
Exactly. So I went through the fitness and health promotion program at first at Algonquin College.
Yep.
And then I got my CSEP certification there. I let that run out, but then I went to school for kinesiology. And then I got my OFC, so Ontario Fitness Council certification, and that's where I got my certification from.
So that means that between, what you were doing with the rehab and the personal training, you bring a whole new kind of perspective to training clients. Where not just moving forward, but moving forward especially well.
Yeah, exactly. Being able to kind of mix the rehab with the personal training gives me a better variety to work with various clients with different physical capabilities. So it definitely helps a lot.
I guess that brings us back to a lot of times people say, they're not sure that they can work out because they have, and you can fill in the blank, back pain or knee pain or shoulder issues or joint issues, or age. Some people think there's an age. And, if you were to hear a comment like that, what would be, your first instinct, your first response?
You can always fix the, what's the word for not the difficulties, but the issues that you have.
The limitations, maybe?
The limitations, exactly. Good choice. through words, through training. And it's just the consistency aspect is very important. So I would say that.
So, why do you think that you enjoy this work so much? Because, you were in rehab first and now you're here and you're kind of combining the two. Why do you think that this is your calling?
I can relate to a lot of different people of different ages, I find. And being able to take the rehab into the personal training aspect, it's different from each other. And I find personal training a little bit more exciting because you get to create your own program for them. Yes. And you get to, show more of your personality through not only your personality, but through your training style as well. So I find, and also love sports. So it's a great change for me, I would say.
Yeah, good combination too.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think are some of the biggest things that you've learned along the way? Whether it's from your rehab or, from personal or both, there's sometimes more than one thing that we've learned along the way.
Yeah. Everyone learns in a different way. So you have to cater to that specific person. And also making sure that you don't train people in a way that you're familiar with or you're used to training with. Like if I go to the gym and do heavy weights all the time. I'm not going to give an older client heavy weights all the time. Again, you got to cater to that client and their goals and their overall needs, and also cater to their limitations if they have any. So just being able to be versatile in that aspect.
Why do you think it's important for you to keep learning, right? To learn new things along the way?
Because I'm a child at heart, I'm still young. Being able to learn only helps you grow as an individual, as a trainer. And yeah, I think it's essential to be the best you can be by continuously learning. If you just say you're done learning, then there's no room for growth. So
if tomorrow, we said, okay, let's get a new certification. Let's say tomorrow's the day, we got to start something new. What do you think the first thing you'd like to, I know there's probably more than one thing. Yeah. But let's say you had to pick one, maybe two. What would be the next thing you'd love to learn?
Nutrition and pregnancy.
Awesome.
Yeah, because nutrition obviously is the biggest factor for a lot of, losing weight or even just gaining muscle. I would like to learn even more about that, even though I've had nutrition background. But pregnancy is a big one because there are a lot of pregnant clients or people that are trying to get pregnant, or ones that have postpartum. Is that the word?
Yep, it is.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So just being able to train those individuals, I think will allow me to get a lot more clients that way.
And it's interesting because, eons ago, if you were pregnant, going to the gym was a no-no, right?
Exactly.
But it just goes to show how different, we understand the body much better over, the last,
way better.
50 years, 20 years, even 10 years. So we're seeing, in your gym and in mine as well, we're seeing a lot more, either people that are coming in who are trying to get pregnant or who are, and, some of them are training. We've got someone in our gym right now. She's in the last month and she's still doing it, right?
She's still doing it. Yeah.
She's still here. Clearly things change and we're able to, because there are some things that you just can't do. But, you wanting to learn those things means that if someone comes to Kanata and are, in that situation, they're pregnant, or they've just delivered, that's really great that you would be able to, help them to get to, either a healthy delivery, if you can help in any way. Some of that is genetics and medical, we understand that, but it's a big effort to deliver a child. So if we can get healthier, and then afterwards, right? A lot of moms want to, once they've if they're nursing, for instance, they might take some time off, but then they want to come back and get fit again. And sometimes that can be different for every different mom, right? Everyone has a different, a different return to health and fitness. So yeah, I think those are two good choices. And of course, when we talk about nutrition, there's a big connection between
huge connection,
nutrition and fitness, right? And you can't, I'm not sure that you can have one without the other.
No, I don't think, and sometimes nutrition is a little bit more effective than just the physical aspect, but nutrition is very important.
How often do you find that clients have those kind of questions about food, about, what should I eat? When should I eat?
You know what? It should be more than it actually is. Sometimes, like a lot of the time, I get clients that are very intrigued. They like me to actually make them a plan, which I don't do because you don't want to get them on a diet and do all that stuff. You want to just, eat in moderation, things that can, help you sustain for a long time. But not enough of the time people ask me, but as a trainer, I would ask them to see how their nutrition is so I can help them as much as possible. Yeah.
When you think about nutrition, what do you think some of the biggest mistakes are that regular people make?
Eating a lot more than they think they do. Let's say you don't track your calories. It's fine if you don't. But if you eat willingly throughout the day and then you think you're eating this amount, but then when you actually track it and you see, oh, this has a lot of sugar. Oh, this has a lot of calories than I thought. And also when you're picking packaging, when you're shopping, it says it can be tricked a lot. So it can be 260 calories for what it says on the nutrition label, but that's for only like 1/8 of the package.
Yeah.
Where people think it's the whole thing. So that's one of the biggest mistakes that people make, for sure.
Have you ever had a client who, you said, listen, try tracking, and of course, and when we talk about tracking, you just said it just now, we're not talking about tracking for the purpose of, limiting your calories to the nth degree. We're talking about finding out, giving you knowledge of what it is you're putting in your body every day, because sometimes we just don't know. We kind of go about doing it and we think everything is fine. And then you start writing it down. You go, wait a minute, what? Right?
Exactly.
I'm having 6 servings of bread a day. I didn't even, right?
I was the same thing. Yeah.
So sometimes that when you ask someone to track, it's not just to give you the information, but it's to give the client the insight, right?
Preach. Exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome. How varied do you think, or how varied are your clients? Do you find that you have a big range of clients, from youth to elderly to athletes? What's your clientele like?
Yeah, I have a huge range, actually. I have, it can be from a 20-year-old kind of fit, a bodybuilder, someone that is older, that has Parkinson's disease, just a middle-aged person. A lot of big variety there, for sure. So I'm used to working with clients of all different physical capabilities, for sure.
And when you meet someone for the first time, we know this because we do this, every day, but that first meeting that we have with them, that's really crucial, right? So
it is.
Your athlete or your senior citizen, or, your client with Parkinson's, that initial meeting, tell us why that first meeting, that initial consultation, why is that so important? What does that set up for us?
Yeah, it builds rapport for the client, because you want to make them feel comfortable coming to you, and you also want to make them feel like you can help them reach their goals. So, coming in with a smile all the time, or just, helping them make their day better, even by just walking in. So if they come in with, kind of a down mood, and you make them leave feeling happy with a smile on their face, that's a big plus, regardless. So it's really important for that first initial consultation.
And what are the things that you want to find out? So you meet them for the first time. What do you want to find out from them that's going to help you with the planning of, of the goal of where you want them to be?
Yeah. So first thing is their goals, to figure out what they are trying to achieve through it and why they want to reach those goals. A lot of people say that, I want to lose weight, but why do you want to lose the weight? What is going to help you in your daily life? And also, I had it in my head, what was it? I guess nutrition as well.
Yeah.
Nutrition, just, yeah.
And perhaps I'm thinking perhaps also, any past experience and or injury, right?
There you go. That's what I was, yeah.
I knew where you were going.
It was the injuries, and also their workout experience. How much experience do you have within the training facility? And also, is there any obstacles that stopped you from working out before? But yeah, those questions I asked.
And has it ever happened that someone tells you about an obstacle, and then you start working out and you're like, you know what, you don't have this obstacle? Does ever happen where they think something and you get to tell them, no, this is perfectly fine. You're capable of whatever that is, right?
Yeah. Lifting certain weights and form a lot of the time. Sometimes, yes, the form can be off, but a lot of the times, especially for squats all the time, they'd be like, oh, when I say we're going to do the squats for the assessment, they're like, oh, squats, like, don't judge me and everything like that. But a lot of the time it turns out and it's completely fine. I'm like, this is really good. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah. So it's that confidence aspect, trying to build them up. So, yeah.
So what do you think that, because now we're open, right? It's post-pandemic, we're open. You and I are meeting like this just because we're separate ends of the town.
Yeah.
We're all, we all have our masks when we're training in the gym, so all of us are, there's mine. But people are coming back into the gym. We're accepting everyone that's vaccinated. They show us their vaccine when they, their proof of vaccination when they come in through the door. So we're starting to get back to normal. What do you think people are looking for the most right now post-pandemic? What are people asking for? What are they looking for? What do you think?
A lot of time they're asking if they're allowed to wear the mask or not. For us, it's optional for the clients. Trainers have to wear them. But I think, yeah, that's the biggest thing. Are they allowed or not to wear the mask, or if they're allowed to train in the gym by themselves? I find they're the two biggest questions.
Yeah, really. What about physically? Do you find that people are coming in post-pandemic feeling like they've gained weight, or they've lost muscle mass, or they've lost their motivation? Do you find that we're getting a clientele now that's a little bit different, perhaps, mentally, psychologically than perhaps they were, in 2019?
All of the above, for sure. They come in, like you said, they gain some weight. Their mental health can be decreased as well. And yeah, they were just looking for a fresh start. So that's what we are trying to do, to give them that fresh start and push them even beyond what they were pre-COVID.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Were you one of the trainers that did any of the virtual sessions? Were you here at the time that we were doing? How did you find that? How did you find virtual sessions with, I should explain for clients who don't know, it's kind of like what we're doing now, right? We go through Zoom. Usually we were using Zoom. We set up a time to meet. You're in your home. This is when everything was closed.
Yeah.
And, the trainer's in their home, the client is in their home, and then we train each other that way. How did you find that?
I'm even still doing it right now with some clients.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so it's not bad. You still get the same experience. Only thing is, I guess, the physical touch aspect. But if you set up the camera correctly, and being the trainer, you got to know how to maneuver the client, even though you're not there.
Yeah.
You'll still be able to train them as if you were in the gym. But it's just that, I guess, more personal connection when you're in person that people long for.
Yeah.
So I do prefer in-person training, but virtual training is just as fine. I can show my personality there too.
Yeah,
So
of course you can. Love it.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes, and I still get these questions today, some people aren't sure if they want to come back, and they say, okay, well, can I train from home, but I don't have a lot? You don't need a lot, do you, to train?
You don't need a lot. You got your body, you're good. Even if you have some limitations, you can still work with that at home. So whatever you want to achieve, if you got your body, you're good to go. If there's a will, there's a way.
That's awesome. I love it. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the Kanata location, in case somebody watching us isn't familiar. Yeah, that's the biggest of our locations. The other gyms are more boutique style gyms. You'd have to come see us to know what that means. Yeah. Whereas Kanata is a little bit bigger. But tell us a little bit about Kanata. What's it like? What's it like to train in there, in that particular location?
It's good because, like you mentioned, it is one of the bigger locations. We have all the necessary equipment. It's not obviously one of the big commercial gyms, but like I said, you have all the necessities here. So it's very convenient and as well. I'm also able to train there myself, so it's convenient for me. Yeah. But yeah, it's just like training in any other gym. It's good for sure.
Yeah, that's really nice. And I know that your location, the Kanata location, and just like the others, 5 as well, we're really taking personal space into account. So we're training people, and for you, because you're probably double our size, maybe a little bit more. Don't quote me on this. I'd have to check it out. But we're still able to, you and your client can train in one zone, and then good distance, another client, which means that when you're in your zone with your client, if the client wants to take their mask off, the other person is at least 2 meters away. I know we can do it in our location, but you can do it even more because you've got extra little space.
Yeah, we have a lot of space. So I think we can have up to 8 people in total. So 4 trainers, 4 clients, and each section, like you mentioned, there's always more than 2 meters of space. So you can have your mask off if you'd like.
That's really great. So we're at 3. So you're a little bit more than double us.
A little bit more.
I like it. And I love it because you guys have those big garage doors, which is so great in the summertime. So if anybody at home can imagine, like literally glass garage doors, and in the summer you can just roll them up and you've got like that fresh air with the grassy space outside. Yeah. So that creates sort of an extra zone right there in that area. if it's not 40 degrees, obviously.
Exactly. If it's not too hot or if it's not too cold. Currently, it's a little too cold.
I'm thinking the doors are closed for the next little while.
Yeah, they're closed for sure.
Awesome.
But yeah, in the summer, like you said, it's really nice to have that breeze in.
Yeah, it's a great location, lots of free parking. So, I'm throwing that out there. If anybody wants to try that location, it's certainly a great spot. Yeah. Okay, now, how about you? How about your own training? So now the day's done, let's say, and you've trained all of your clients, and now you've got an hour to yourself. What does your own personal training look like in the gym?
So I kind of superset it a lot with supersets of exercises, and it depends. If I'm not going to track that day, then I would either train before my clients or after, and I would do a nice like 45-minute session on my own, and just train either, back and buys, chest and triceps, or just a total arm day, just to destroy me.
Yes.
I like pain apparently. But yeah, it's just, how do you say it? It's just, just those muscle groups really, back to back to work on muscular endurance for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's basically it.
If you had to pick a favorite exercise, just one, and it can't be track, because we're going to talk about that next.
Yeah. Okay.
One favorite exercise, what do you think it would be? That's tough, right?
It's tough. You know what? It's gonna sound weird, but it's squats.
Okay.
Heavy squats though. Heavier squats. Because not only does it help me, develop the strength and power in my legs, it also works your core and everything. And the definition in your abs as well, makes it look nice.
There you go. And that's why we make our clients do squats too, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so we've been teasing about it. I told everybody at the top that you are, invested in track and field. I want to know all about. I didn't know this about you, so tell me and tell everybody else at the same time. What is that all about? When did you discover you like to run?
Oh, I was young. I've been playing soccer as a child, and I've just always run a lot. No long distance, I'm a sprinter, but being able to run was just always part of me, since elementary, high school, and even to now. Currently, I specialize in the 100 and 200 meter events, and I am currently running for the Ottawa Lions Track and Field Club.
That's incredible. But when did you know you were good at it? I mean, because
good at it.
There's a lot of things that I really like, but I kind of suck at it. Like, you should hear me sing, just saying.
Yeah.
But when did you know? When did you know that? Okay, wait a minute. I'm really good at this. I'm talented.
Probably in elementary. I was grade, I think 4 or 5, and we had a track and field day. And not to boast or anything, but I won all the events.
Amazing.
In the sprinting category and other categories, but mostly sprinting. And I held the school record at the time.
Cool.
So I was like, you know what? Let's continue with it, right? So
of course.
Yeah. So it was that's why I guess that's when I knew I was, I guess, destined.
And you enjoy it. You really love this whole track.
I really enjoy it.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay, so all right, so you know that you're good at it, and you train, and you're part of this club. What does the training look like for track and field? What does that entail?
The training is difficult, very hard. So let's give you an example workout. Like the other day, I did 7 200 meter runs, did back to back on the track.
How much rest in between?
2 minutes rest.
Oh my goodness.
But sometimes, I don't know if people know the Mooney's Bay Hill.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a really long hill for people that don't know, steep hill. And one Saturday we had to do 6 long beach runs in Mooney's Bay. So running on the beach is much more difficult than on turf or pavement or a track, just because the surface isn't as hard. So it's sand. Exactly. So it's much more difficult. So I had to do 6 of those, and then I had to run 8 hills right after that. It was death, but it's good. It's good work for sure. It's gonna help you build that cardiovascular endurance.
Okay, so how many days a week do you work at this? at their track and field?
3 to 4 currently right now. I would
Okay.
like to do more in the future, but injuries is um, an issue as well.
What's injured
Um,
right now?
oof, right now it's a little bit of my knee, my left
Okay.
knee,
Okay.
and my calf.
Ah,
More tightness in my calf. But it's just about recovering as much as you train as well. Recovery is actually probably more important than the actual training. Because you can train all you want, but if you don't recover properly, you won't be able to train. So it kind of goes hand in hand there. But
amazing. Well, so what's the goal? Do you have a goal? Like, you're training, you're working hard, you're part of this team. Is
yeah,
there like a long-term goal?
long-term goal is the Olympics.
That's so
Paris
exciting.
2024. Yeah, for sure. Paris in 3 years. It's gonna come up kind of quick, but that is my goal to run there for sure.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited just hearing about it. That's
Yeah.
the most exciting thing ever. And, that takes a whole lot of determination,
Mhm.
physically, but it's also a bit of a mind. You can't doubt yourself, right? Like you
No,
really
no.
have to, I
Yeah.
often think of our Canadian Andre DeGrasse, like some people,
Mhm.
he's got this aura of confidence about him. Like, I got this. And I think
Yeah.
that there's a part of that that's important for athletes to get to that goal of no self-doubt. It's hard.
100%.
I
It's
think we
very,
all
yeah.
these days, right?
Yeah, exactly. Track is probably like 80 to 90% mental than
Amazing.
people think. Being able to, like you mentioned, having that confidence in yourself and be able to defy the odds. Like if something went wrong, your mental game has to be strong to, you know, not let that bother you. Or if you had a bad start, you can continue your form and you can make up for what happened. So just being able to be mentally strong to overcome any obstacles that come your way.
Well, I think that's very exciting. So,
Yeah.
I love that I'm learning this with everybody else at home at the same time. So now that it's winter, how does that
Mhm.
change your training? Because do you run outside in the wintertime? It's got to be too dangerous and slippery, no? Because we
So
live in Ottawa, so we're talking about ice covered, snow covered areas.
exactly. So usually I would train in a dome, but because of recent COVID
Oh yeah.
restrictions, we're stuck outside. So right now, and last year I was actually training outside until December, and last year I was training in the snow, which was cold, slippery. Yeah, I don't recommend training the snow.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna
I
say.
don't. And even now for sprinting, the weather is a little bit too cold, but you got to dress up really warm, of course.
Yeah.
But I do what I can. So we'll stay outside as long as we can until we move indoors. But we're also going to be able to train at Carleton,
Good.
their dome, and Algonquin, their dome as well. So that should be good.
Well, we'll be looking for some updates.
Yes.
I'll have to create a new podcast like the Bertwin, running update podcast or
Let's
something.
do it. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so listen, we talked about all of this racing, which I think is exciting. So let's talk about what you do on your downtime. What do you do? Today is the day off. Let's say there's no training your clients in the gym and you get a rest day. What do you do in your downtime?
That's rare. So usually, obviously the typical Netflix and uh, just relaxing. But I like to go on walks just to
Yes.
calm everything down and also hang out with my friends,
Nice.
do something, get my mind off things, and yeah, just have a good time.
Now, when you're on Netflix, don't tell us what shows you watch because there might
Okay,
be rules against that. But are you like a horror person, a comedy person, a drama person, a little bit of everything?
I'm horror, comedy, and action.
Okay.
Those are my 3 favorite ones. I For horror, I don't know why I like it. I guess everyone likes the thrill of being scared, but
Not me.
no, you got to
No.
try it. You have to try it.
No.
No.
No, I'm the one with the pillow over her face. Like, is it over
Mm,
yet? Is it over yet?
yeah, no, but I love action as well, and comedies is comedy. So
Of course.
who doesn't like to laugh?
I read in your bio that you also used to play volleyball.
Yes. So I was a volleyball athlete in high school. Honestly, if I didn't do track, I would most likely play volleyball.
Okay.
I was pretty decent at it. I was the person that spiked the ball. So in volleyball, if you don't know, it's called the power position. So I did that. I'm kind of short, so it's probably surprising. I'm 5'7", but I can jump high, so it helps. But volleyball is probably the most fun sport to play for me. I really like volleyball. Yeah.
Awesome. I know that we touched on it just a little bit before, but how do you stay fit in the winter months? So, take away the track aspect, or maybe we can't. How do you combine the two in the winter months? Is it a little bit more lifting and a little bit less running, or do you think that it stays the same?
It stays more or less the same, but that mental aspect comes in where, you don't want to train because it's cold and, you don't want to get up, but having also dumbbells in my basement and other, what's the word, equipment, helps a lot. It makes you more motivated to do so. And yeah, it's more or less the same, but it's more of, I would say, more weight.
Yeah.
A little bit more weight.
Do you do any of the winter activities? Do you ski? Do you skate? Do you snowshoe?
I ski and skate.
Okay.
And snowboard sometimes. I'm not good at it. So for skating, I kind of like run on the ice, like one foot glides and the other one just kind of like steps on it and keeps going. I don't know. I'm not good at it. It's horrible.
Well, at least you try.
At least I try, And for snowboarding, I love it a lot. I go down, I can't stop, and I can barely turn. So I just bomb the hill.
Well, are you ever worried that you're going to hurt yourself and then not be able to continue to like injure yourself, and then your track stuff is going to get, in the way?
I mean, if I think about that, I wouldn't really go. So
good point.
Put that in the back of my mind. But there's one time I did snowboard and I was going down the hill. It was my last run of the day. And I was going down the hill and I stopped. I fell because I couldn't stop myself. So I had to fall to stop. And then I got up. And as I got up, my hamstring cramped up. And it was the last run of the hill. I was like, come on, of course. So yeah, that happened. But I really enjoy snowboarding and other activities as well.
That's good. At least we have to embrace winter. We live it. We're right in the thick of it.
Yeah.
So I want to know, what's this funny story about the goldfish?
Oh, okay.
What's that all about?
Oh, God. Okay. So I've never had a pet before.
Okay.
So when I was 6 years old, in my neighborhood, they were holding like an event where you can get a free goldfish in the community pool. So they filled the community pool, right? They filled the community pool and put goldfishes in there. And they said, anyone who wants one can take one. So I was like, you know what? This is my opportunity. I'm gonna just take one, right?
How do you take one out with your hands?
Actually, you just lean over the pool and like they help you grab it as well. But like you grab it, they give you a bag, or I think
water.
I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
Hopefully it was a bowl, but they give you something and you can take it home. But the thing is, they don't give you any tricks and tips to, help a goldfish survive. Yeah, so I get home, right? And I'm so excited. I've never had a pet before. And I'm like, okay, what do I do? What do I feed this fish? So my 6-year-old brain, I'm like, bacon. Why not? So I was like, yes, this is going to work perfectly fine. So I ripped the smallest piece that I can.
Of raw bacon or cooked bacon?
Cooked.
Okay.
So no, yeah, I'm not that horrible. So people,
well, I would have, but okay.
Don't judge me. I was 6.
That's so cute.
I ripped the bacon. I put it in the fishbowl, and it ate it. I come back an hour later, and it's upside down. I'm like, I just got this fish.
I guess fish don't eat bacon. I wouldn't have known that.
Kids at home, don't feed your fish bacon, please.
I guess there's no bacon in the open water, so that would make sense. That's adorable. That's so adorable. You did your best.
I did my, it lasted all about an hour, but I
And
did.
then did you ever get another goldfish?
Never again.
That was
Never
the end
again.
of that.
Yeah.
I love that story. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, listen, I do this with everybody. I ask them 3 rapid fire questions. I'm going to throw them out before we go today, and we'll see what answers you come up with. So what is something that you know now that you wish you knew when you first started personal training?
Ooh, first started sales, the sales aspect, being able to, you know, sell yourself and sell the service that you're doing, that you're selling, being able to properly do that. Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
Awesome. What is the first skill you like to teach beginners?
Breathing cues and form. A lot of the time, they don't like to breathe when they do the exercise. So it's very, I like to do the breathing skills.
Breathing is important.
Yeah.
And what do you think your most valuable coaching skill is? What do you think you especially bring to, you know, to your clients every day?
One, I'll say motivation and being able to relate to them, not only on a personal level, but through fitness as well, making them see what they're actually capable of. A lot of the time they don't, you know, realize what they can actually do, but I show them, and I kind of trick them in a way, be like, okay, we're doing for this many seconds, I add like 5 or 10 more seconds. And then they're like, oh, I didn't know I could do that, but they can. So yeah.
That's awesome. Right on. Okay, so if someone is inspired to train with you, you know, they've just heard all these things about you, including a great goldfish story. Where can they find you? Where can people, you know, find out more about you?
Yeah, so I'm at the Kanata location, as you mentioned before, but I'm also on Instagram. It's Bertwin Ben Smith, no capitals or no periods. Also Facebook, Bertwin Ben Smith -Smith, and the same thing for Facebook, Bertwin Ben -Smith.
Yeah, and we're going to include that information at the end of our podcast as well, so that people can you know where to find you. So listen, that's it for today. Thank you so much, Bertwin, for joining me on this latest edition of the Personal Trainers Who Care podcast.
Thank you. It was great.
Everyone at home, Bertwin has told you where you can find him. So check him out either on Instagram and on Facebook. And I think you're also on LinkedIn, right?
Yes, LinkedIn as well.
So
same thing, Bertwin Ben -Smith. Yeah.
There you go. We're going to include that at the end of this podcast. Thank you to everyone for watching today. Be sure to check out our past podcasts if you want to know more about our fabulous team. And while you're there, make sure to like, to subscribe. You can even leave comments. We love to be able to answer your questions and, you know, connect with you in that way as well. And so that's it. That's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks again, Bertwin, and we will see you next time. Bye.
See you. Bye.